In light of the investigation that made video game publisher Movie Games S.A. is conducting over TVGS Schedule 1 for potential copyright infringement, the developers of drug dealer simulator byterunners have come out saying they do not support the investigation and lay the blame with their game's publisher. So as we've stated in a previous episode, the copyright infringement investigation over Schedule 1 is not being conducted by byterunners themselves, but by their publisher, Movie Games S.A., due to them being legally required to investigate such matters as they are a publicly traded company. So here is actually a full statement from byterunners. It reads as follows. Dear fans and communities of both Drug Dealer Simulator and Schedule 1, after managing the ongoing drama on our side, analyzing the situation, listening to various opinions and feedback, and having multiple discussions both internally in the studio and with our publisher, we wanted to provide an update on our stance regarding the Schedule 1 infringement investigation launched by our publisher, Movie Games S.A. We want to state that despite the fact that we do see many similarities between the games, and that some aspects of Schedule 1 were probably heavily inspired by Drug Dealer Simulator, we as the developers do not feel like we are being robbed by anyone. Mind that we are not lawyers, and we case the following on our personal feelings about the matter. So it continues to say, in our opinion, Schedule 1 has its own vibe, freshness, and ideas that derive from the concept of Drug Dealer Simulator 1. But expand on it and bring them in its own shape and style. Frankly, we don't care how this relates to copyrights and fair competition laws, but we think these kinds of inspirations are abundant in game development, creative, and they create and improve genres, and even if they sometimes cross a few lines, are in general a good thing for the industry and gaming as a whole. We base our stance on our personal opinions on the matter as developers and gamers. If we had a choice in this, we would not pursue any legal actions against Schedule 1 in any shape or form. Considering we do not own the Drug Dealer Simulator IP, we do not have direct influence over the decisions surrounding the investigation or our publisher's policy. However, we have expressed our concerns and opinions to them directly. We will actively work on voicing our stance during this investigation. We want this to end well for everyone, and we do not want anyone affected to face this kind of negativity, fear, or hatred. That's not why we make games, and that's not what we stand for. byterunners team developers behind the Drug Dealer Simulator series. So, if you're not aware, the Drug Dealer Simulator has faced aggressive review bombings on Steam by Schedule 1 fans since this investigation has launched. But the team at byterunners have been very clear that they do not feel personally harmed by the success of Schedule 1, nor by the idea that their game has inspired it. So Drug Dealer Simulator officially launched on a new platform last week, which is actually over on Xbox.
I do want to point out one thing that you did state in here that I thought was really interesting, but we think these kinds of inspirations are abundant in game development, create and improve genres, and even if they are sometimes cross the lines, are in general a good thing for the industry and gaming as a whole. And the reason I want to point that out is because the fact that this game that came out, Schedule 1, is an improvement to what they started on their end. And the fact that they're owning up to that and saying that it's a good thing shows that they are actually a bigger, I'm going to say it in this form, but a bigger man, right? Even though they're a company, than the publisher. I know the publisher has to do what they have to do because of negligence and all this other stuff and legalities and everything like that. But the fact that they're coming out and saying this is huge on their part. They're saying, look, we get it. We understand that you guys are pissed off. We're not happy about this whole thing. And we also approve with the fact of people taking our stuff as inspiration and making it better. And you know what? That's how games are. Games are not, I made this game and this is it. And this is the only game that will be out there. There are copies of games everywhere. I mean, how many times have you played Destiny and then played another game and gone, wow, this reminds me of Destiny? Probably at least 10 times. And so, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's
do.
similarities that you see. I mean, I could say the same thing about Diablo. I have played Diablo, and then I have played Last Epoch. I have played Path of Exile. I have played what's another one? There's like so many that I've played, and I played those genres because I love them
too. It's also,
but they're all the same.
It's just like, as I'm, slowly working on a narrative storyline for a video game of my own that I'm doing with my friend Michael. We look to other games for inspiration to figure out ideas of how we want mechanics to work. Like, we're gonna look to, like, the biggest thing in creation, and this goes for making movies and like script writing, to setting up D&D campaigns. If you're trying to, whether you're following like maybe stuff in Faerun, or if you're doing your own homebrew stuff, people take inspiration from other places, and that's not a bad thing. That's sometimes where people's creativity starts, and where people can take it and then improve upon the initial original idea. Which, from playing Drug Dealer Simulator 1, the demo of it, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really like Schedule 1 better than Drug Dealer Simulator. And I do think that Schedule 1 has improved upon the idea of what the game Drug Dealer Simulator was, in a more fun, casual style. So I was really pleased to read this statement from byterunners, the developers of Drug Dealer Simulator, because it's nice to see that they have this mindset.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't think any game developer out there should ever, unless it's like literally they copied and pasted it, like somebody worked for them and took their exact coding, put it on like a, wherever they put it, like let's say a notepad, right? And then took it with, like, that's different. He didn't do that. He never worked for them. So like, you can't, I don't know. I feel like it's like apples and oranges at this point. I think you should be happy for somebody's success. I feel like this has become something that's gotten blown out of proportion.
Honestly, in a weird way, it could have been good marketing. People see this game. I had never heard of Drug Dealer Simulator. And, maybe a game like this could eventually, like Schedule 1, could make them be like, well, I finished the story of Schedule 1. I wonder if there's any other games similar to this that might be of interest to me to test out. And then people might they might have seen a potential boom in their purchases of their game, especially because they have two. Like, there's two Drug Dealer Simulator games, so they have even more content to consume over there that they could have potentially been led to because of Schedule 1. But sadly, because of Movie Games S.A. being publicly traded, and they have to take do these investigations, and if there is anything in the investigation, they have to legally take legal action because of being a publicly traded company. That sadly, this whole thing, even though they legally are just doing what they have to do so they are compliant and not negligent, honestly is hurting the title that they have. Like, obviously, byterunners says they don't feel personally attacked or haven't, they haven't been harmed, but like the reviews hurt, and that hurts searchability and findability for indie games, especially these smaller games. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. Nope, you make a great point.
So yeah, as always, guys, we will continue to follow the story. That way, if things do end up having a need to progress into legal action, we will keep you updated and let you know if anything more comes of this story.
And you guys, the conversation doesn't stop here about this. If you guys are seeing stuff, put it in our Discord, put it on our YouTube, put a comment on our YouTube for that video that Morgan made regarding Drug Dealer Simulator and the Schedule 1 investigation. It just adds, and, we can continue this conversation going, and maybe there's more things that we're missing that we haven't seen yet, but, we're always digging and looking for information. So just keep the conversation going with us. It's a hot topic, and it's a good one, for sure.